This episode of Nerd Confessions is brought to you by Bruce T.
I'm a 1-inch punch you. We did not get
Bruce Lee's original tea recipe for energy.
No, I'm going to 1-inch punch you. We never got anything.
Every cap comes with a quote. This one says,
"You're not sponsored by them, Will. Jesus.
Be a practical dreamer backed by action." Signed, Bruce Lee.
Can somebody tell him we're not being sponsored?
You know, the best quote is the one that says,
1% juice?
"I'm not a bastard. I'm Bruce Lee."
In this episode, we're talking about Valerian and Dunkirk.
It's one of his movie quotes.
You know what's you know what's not in that tea? Allergy medication.
Nerd Confessions.
I don't know what he's talking about, but it didn't keep him from dying, so I don't want to drink it.
Transmission. Accessing database. Identification acquired. Welcome back, user. Nerd Confessions will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd Confessions, our safe haven where we discuss our thoughts and opinions on everything nerdy, geeky, techie, and whatever. It's been a week since our last confession, but before we jump right into it, we'd like to remind our listeners that you can follow us on various social media platforms, find our previous episodes and bonus content on our website, nerdconfessions.net. I'm Tommy, the moderator for this episode, and today I'm joined by Ellie.
Hello.
William.
Hello.
Hi.
Soheil.
Hey, what's up?
In this episode, we'll be talking about 10 nerd news topics thanks to Comic-Con 2017. We'll also be discussing some of the most exciting things that were announced at Comic-Con. Additionally, we will be talking about the amazing movie Dunkirk and the earth-shattering waste of money movie Valerian something of 1,000 Planets.
Matter of opinion.
Stick around until the end of the episode to hear some of our listener confessions. If you want to send us a confession, you can email us at contact@nerdconfessions.net or send us a tweet.
.net.
So for starters, let's see what everybody's been up to this week. Soheil, what you been up to?
I've been up to not so much. I just had a birthday.
Happy birthday!
I was celebrating that.
Happy late birthday.
The big 3-0.
The big
You're
3-0.
old.
Thank you very much. I feel it in my bones. So, I got a little older. That's what I did. I also watched Dunkirk and Valerian and also played Splatoon 2. Those are not the only things I did. I also started watching
Food Wars?
Couple new things. No, I watched a new Chef Table on Netflix.
I knew it. It was close. Something food related.
Food Wars.
I don't know. I just made it up.
I watch it. It's pretty good. Moving on. That's all I did. Really a slow week, but it's probably because there's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of Comic-Con stuff happening. I watched a lot of that. So, unfortunately, we were not able to go to Comic-Con, but one of our partners did go, Cherie, but she's not here.
Darn it, Cherie.
I wish I could have gone.
Doing
Next
all the
year.
cool
Next
stuff.
year. Goals, baby. 2018 goals.
Yeah, goals. So, that's all I did.
All right. Will, what you been up to?
Hi. Well, I played a lot of Splatoon 2. I'm making my way through the single-player campaign.
Trying to get a platinum?
I got pretty far. I wish I had a platinum, but it does not have a platinum. Otherwise, I would get the platinum, perhaps. Assassin's Creed 2 from the Ezio collection. I've been playing that a little bit more. I've been watching a lot of Rogue One because that's on Netflix now.
You been rewatching it?
Oh, and I got a lot of amiibos. I got
There's a crap load of me was in front of me.
I got the whole set for the Splatoon set that came out with the game. I got the new
looks
boy,
like all that,
the squid, which is pretty cool because it comes up so high compared to before. They're so low compared to before. See how low this guy is, but this guy, oh no, he's like all high. I like how high they're jumping. Yeah, a little bit. Well, same size, but he's jumping up a lot higher, which is pretty cool. And they've got a bigger splat design.
Looks like all that overtime money was well spent.
They're not that expensive. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not playing inflated prices or anything.
Not unless you buy them off eBay, then you're paying like $45
yeah,
a piece.
this freaking Link amiibos going up price. The one that was exclusive to GameStop is already $40.
Wow.
And stupid. Well, at least it's not 60. The other one came down a little bit, but they're both going for 40 now.
What a waste.
So whatever. I also bought Ghost in the Shell 3D, and it's going to be waiting for me at home tomorrow.
The current one with Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson, yes, that's the one I bought in 3D. I'm excited for it. Besides that, I also did Valerian. I celebrated your birthday for the big 3-0 and saw Dunkirk.
We all watched that. That's crazy.
All right, Ellie, what have you been up to? Are you like that sloth from that one movie?
I watched. I watched those movies too,
Okay.
and I played.
Let me guess. Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How did I know?
I got a new friend,
Oh,
and I got another friend. They're called Amiibos.
okay.
Oh, that's nice.
You got what is that one you got there? Wolf Link?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twilight Princess Wolf Link.
And the other one you got was what?
It was that big old thing, the Guardian.
The Guardian. Yeah. And those came back in stock because the Splatoon amiibos came out. So.
Yeah, so there were a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was.
That's all I did.
That's all you did? All
Besides
right.
working your butt off.
then
But, yeah.
and I celebrated dear Soheil's
The big 3-0.
birthday.
Yay!
The big 4-0.
And the
Oh,
celebrating continues.
okay then. Myself, I continue watching Dragon Ball Z Super.
Duper.
Also been watching Hero Academia, which is getting better and better. Rewatched the show Suits. Watching Game of Thrones. I saw Valerian with you guys and Dunkirk. I also celebrated Soheil's birthday, the big 4-0. And I played a little bit of
3-0.
Splatoon 2 today, and it's actually pretty fun. And then the very last thing I did was
We're
I
such
read.
a big critic of it.
Yeah, well. And then the last thing I did was I finished reading the fairy tale manga, which ended yesterday after 11 years. That was...
Run out of money?
No, the story's finished. And it was actually one of the first mangas that I'm actually glad how it ended. It was really nice. So,
Wait, you're
That's
telling
all
me? Wait, you know how to read?
yeah, surprise.
Oh.
I've been holding out on you the whole time.
Just short
Just
sentences.
picture books.
The ones that fit
Yeah.
in the
I need
bubbles.
things that pop up, okay?
Okay, I got it.
That's how I work.
It's like quack.
Sure
on
wasn't a
there or
hentai?
something.
Pop-up books only.
Like, there might have been some
Like the
tentacles.
Babadook.
The bubble.
Anyway, moving on. So, in today's news, we're going to start right off with a trailer.
Oh.
A teaser trailer.
Teaser trailer.
Teaser trailer for a movie that was made by a man named Tommy Wiseau. The man wasn't a very good. He wasn't a very good actor. He had made a movie that he called a romantic comedy, not romantic or thing, and then we ended up becoming a comedy in his eyes. It's not actually a comedy. It's a really terrible movie.
Like really well known for being so bad.
Yeah.
And like you think
It's
this
like
guy's
the
a
worst
character,
movie ever made.
but it's just the way the guy acts. So
What's
The
the
movie,
guy's
the
name?
original movie is called The Room, and his name is
Oh.
Tommy Wiseau.
It would be a Tommy.
Can you
it would be a Tommy.
get this top layer off?
Why?
Because I can't see anything.
You don't need to see.
I want to see.
Give me that.
And take that one too.
Put it here.
Can you take this one as well? Tommy
Yeah,
has.
I'm good.
Tommy can't see. Apparently, I can see.
Because
I'm
he's
sorry. I'm
short.
short.
I'm playing it. Here we go.
It's James Franco.
What line? What line?
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Okay.
There's been so many memes of this.
Yeah.
Like they had one him popping up and saying hi to Mark Hamill.
What is line?
I like how he looks really like similar to the guy. I like his
He does look
appearance.
similar. I mean,
hit her.
the other guy's like really
Okay,
wide
okay,
though.
line.
Yeah,
I know.
he doesn't look as wide, and you can still tell it's James Franco.
It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her.
It's actually the first time I've seen James Franco and his brother in the same movie.
Really, his brother's in this?
Yeah,
his
this
Oh,
right
that's
there.
his brother in the
It's
yeah,
Mark.
crew there.
It's Mark.
You can tell because of the eyebrows.
Great, man.
Yeah,
We'll get there.
Dave
I see.
Franco and his buddy Seth Rogen.
Action, action.
Say out loud. I can't hear in here.
Say action so I can hear her.
Okay.
That sounds like James Franco. That's really weird.
Action.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Ah, got it so perfect.
You know, this is based off the book that the guy that acted as Mark wrote.
This is when it like whenever I try to edit or film something at work.
It's coming up.
Oh. Okay, so next story.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go right into the next story. I really enjoy that, by the way.
Okay,
just wanted to put it out
You
there.
missed
What's
the
the next
John
story?
Boyega.
That's what I was about to say. The next story is about John Boyega and his Star Wars novels collections is what we're excited about. He's a fan just like all of us. And it's actually pretty cool because he's got 2 whole shelves with like, I don't know, maybe 50 books of just Star Wars stuff.
Scroll up a little bit. I have that Star Wars Pop-Up Galaxy book.
Looks
by the way.
cool.
Pop-Up for the Star Wars Galaxy. Pop-Up Guide for the Galaxy. It's awesome. That's a great book.
I don't like this photo. It's a little bit too intense.
Is it that the pop-up book that the pop-up artist did like 2 other Disney pop-up books?
Yes, it is. It is that book.
What did you say?
I've seen it before. It's very impressive.
It's very impressive. When you open it, it's like huge. It's like it gets like this big. I'm like, holy moly. But it's really cool. I mean, he is looking at us like at us like he's gonna give us his lightsaber, but it's all right. I mean, I'm willing to hang out with him.
I mean, it's cool that he's a huge fan, just
I know
like
he's
we
just
are.
kidding. I was being weird.
I don't like this photo though. Look at like
What's wrong?
You're all up in his crotch, and he has like an intense.
He
look
put
on
a
his
tie
face.
over it. He put a tie over it.
You remember that quote from that one party that you'll never forget? Hey, I like books. What books do you like?
Oh my God! Stop.
That's the pickup line that I imagine he's saying.
No,
right
he's
now.
definitely
more. It looks like
in my head. It's like the Old Spice. Hello, ladies. Look at my books.
He's
Now
laying
look
down
at
in the
me.
bed. He's got
Now
an
look at my
intense look
books.
on him.
Now look
he's
at
got
my
like
tie.
his legs halfway open for you.
My thing I'm thinking about right now is he doesn't make his bed, just like everybody else. His bed looks terrible.
What?
Number 2,
He's laying on it.
That's
What
like
do you
his Levi jacket on there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
his
no,
jacket,
I'm
dude.
just saying he doesn't have a top blanket.
Yeah, they're just the sheets.
Just sheets. He's like everyone else. He has no pillow. He has 1 pillow. There's no 2 pillows.
Hey man, he just got into
Just
Star
like
Wars.
one of us. His hair looks good for waking up. It's all right. We're all moving on.
Well,
John Boyega,
He didn't just wake up. This is
I can't wait to see you in Detroit.
This is a
That's all I have to
Photoshop.
say.
What?
What's he gonna do in Detroit? What are you gonna do in Detroit?
What are you doing in Detroit?
I can't wait to see him in Detroit, the movie.
Oh right. Moving on.
I love this trailer, by the way.
So the next story is about Stranger Things. Creators of the Duff Brothers have brought a season 2, which is bigger, darker, and scarier.
And this was released at Comic-Con, which is going to be... This is like... I love this freaking trailer. I'm just going to throw that out. This is awesome. Play it.
Do you like this trailer?
Here we go. We're jumping into Stranger Things season 2 trailer.
Don't talk. I never seen it.
We're talking. I don't care what you're saying. So they... At first, they were doing the board game. Sorry, Dungeons and Dragons, the play game. Now they're actually doing video games. That's kind of cool.
You'll see what year it is in a minute.
I really should watch the first one, huh?
Oh, man, it's so good. You'll love it.
I don't even know what it's
No, I
about.
didn't like
Hey
that.
guys, do you see the
It's really good.
What the hell?
If you don't like semi-horror, you're not going to like this.
It's like a parallel
Universe.
realm, upside down world.
Will? Are you okay?
I love that arcade
That's such
sign.
a cool arcade sign. Wow.
Have you not seen that? Have you not seen that? I love that arcade sign.
Oh, it's continuing.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's like that retro Tron look.
You get to see some of the characters from
Oh,
the
that guy's
first
so
season.
sweaty.
Will's got some
I
kind of
saw
problem. The music is so good.
I do the character.
I don't know. I felt it everywhere.
You're gonna hear a great song.
Across the land.
So they're walking through the woods with flashlights.
You got
It's like Halloween stuff.
Yeah, it's because
This
it comes
is
out on
crazy
Halloween.
song. That's cool.
To terrorize
You know where this is from, right? This is Thriller from Michael Jackson.
Is that what it is? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
Wait, let me hear it.
Sometimes I feel like I still see her.
This is so cool. Like a techno version of Thriller. That's so cool.
and rot inside.
I love that they're doing Ghostbusters. They're dressed up as Ghostbusters. They have a trap for Ghostbusters.
Oh my god.
This is so
This
cool.
is so dope.
Happening is spreading from this.
I gotta find this song, yo.
So not only are they doing like E.T. homage with the bicycles, but now they're dressed as Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's
That's so
Ghostbusters.
cool.
And there's even the Warriors and everything.
Yeah, this Will guy is really fucked up now.
This song is dope.
It's like
Why are they back in the school with that thing?
If you're out there, just please.
the school. Remember Ellie 11? I don't want to spoil it for anybody. We'll all watch it.
Yeah. What?
Uh-oh.
Oh. Speaking of 11,
Uh-oh.
she's here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so she found a way back then.
We don't know. Did she?
I love the timing of the laugh.
That is so cool.
I told you it was really good.
Yeah. That's
Holy
really cool.
moly.
You know the cool part about that? They had the thriller,
music.
But if you go back to the middle of the trailer in the lawn, you'll see a Bush, Reagan Bush poster. So it happens during Reagan's re-election.
Did you notice the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire? A homage to The Walking Dead?
That was not an homage to The Walking Dead.
Yes, it was. It was.
It's not.
It was to the guy.
That took place before The Walking Dead.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it
Those
did.
lies.
Move on.
I don't want to move on. I'll move on when I want to move on. God damn it. Moving on. All right. And the next story is Bright, the new Netflix show that's starring Will Smith. Actually, it's not a show. It's a movie starring Will Smith. And it is absolutely crazy. So let's check it out.
Well, I haven't heard anything about this. What's okay? Is Netflix one?
Yeah, it's
Netflix.
one movie.
Wow, Will Smith isn't a Netflix exclusive.
It's basically like...
Why is there a fairy in the bird feeder again?
What the hell is this? Is like a fairy?
Good afternoon, officer. Fairy lives don't matter today.
What's happening? A fairy is like a little...
That's it right there. Now take the little homie out LAPD style like you
A
do.
feeder for a hummingbird?
And you keep doing all
and it
your
is
gangster
squatted
stuff.
on the
I'm just
floor?
trying to sell my house. Don't worry about that.
So it's like the fantasy world is coming into the real world.
It's like Bad Boys.
Like orcs?
It's like Bad Boys meets
And
Men in
elves?
Black.
Better or worse than anybody.
What the hell is happening?
It's really weird. They made a trailer before.
The whole world is watching.
This is the first I've seen it, so...
I'm telling you right now, in the comments of this trailer, there's some of the funniest titles I've ever heard in my life.
That you got my back.
It says straight out of Lord of the Rings or something like that.
What's my face?
The human who needs a lot more conjugal love type face.
Do not wink at me like that.
It's got a big Men in Black feel to it and a Bad Boys feel.
Are they trying to say that white people are orcs?
No, that's not what it's saying.
Oh, okay.
It's trying to say that like it's about like fairy tale characters coming to the human world.
What is it?
But it's really weird because how would that happen? How would we handle this?
Are you sure this hasn't been overdone, like with that fairy tale TV show, or like all the?
It's kind of like the Telltale. It's kind of like
all
the
those
Telltale
other games.
The Telltale game that we just played.
Oh yeah, similar, huh?
Shrek?
Yeah. Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us.
That's whatever
Shrek.
you want. You want to be taller or
Or
shorter?
Shrek,
You want
but Wolf
$10
Among Us is like the most recent
Shrek.
Not
example.
stealing that wine.
It's really weird.
It's super weird, but it looks
Out of
cool.
This neighborhood. They're gonna kill you, then me, and that's when the stupid shit's gonna start.
Oh, they had a gangster in a wheelchair. Looked really intimidating.
Okay, well.
It's a lot of car
It's the
chases.
same. It's the same guys who did End of Watch, so it should be pretty good.
And the watch had a lot of blood.
So in this world, they freak out because they found a wand.
Will Smith had a sword.
Get out of my head.
Is the orc gonna kill him?
Just the dark
No, Will.
Way
It's called an
behind him.
intense scene.
It was like slow motion gunshooting. And the orc had a really weird look on his face.
I think the orc was gonna do something.
We might be in a prophecy. We're not in a prophecy. We're in a stolen Toyota Corolla.
What were you saying, Ellie?
Looks good.
You like it?
I said they freaked out because they found the wand.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, moving
It's
on.
Harry Potter's wand.
Harry Potter's wand.
It might be really weird. They might add all kinds of craziness to it. I
Harry
don't know.
Potter. You're a wizard, Terry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Rocko!
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm really excited for this too, Ellie. I love Rocko's Modern Life.
Okay, so
It's my
yeah.
favorite Nickelodeon show.
Right. So the next news topic is Rocko's Modern Life gets a reboot. Are you excited?
Yes.
Wait,
let's watch it.
Is it a reboot or
Yes,
is it just
it's
a
a
movie?
reboot. It's coming back.
Is it really a reboot?
Yeah, it's gonna be
I heard
a
it's
movie.
just. I heard it's a movie, not a reboot.
It's gonna be a reboot movie.
You'll see. Watch the trailer.
Well, let's talk. Can we watch it and find out? It's Heifer.
It looks so good now.
Is it the same voice actor?
Yes.
It looks the same I remember. Is it like different?
No, yeah, it's got a little. It looks a little better.
Oh.
Fellas? Yeah? I don't think
Look,
we're
Ellie's
in the
on the left.
90s anymore.
It's so much satire in this.
I related so much to Rocko.
So much satire in this trailer.
So it's not technically a reboot. It's like they just jumped ahead to the future.
Yeah, but they say it's a reboot. You'll see. Buzzbucks, Starbucks. Buzzbucks again. Starbucks.
I see.
So heavy satire.
Check it out! I got the new iPhone 8.
Big whoop. I just got the new iPhone 9.
This is a phone? But where are all the buttons?
Just like our life.
So that's interesting. Instead of
It looks like they're
So they're
mocking
making it-
everything.
well, before it wasn't all necessarily about the time frame it was in. It was just normal stuff. But now they're gonna make it more like a timepiece. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
They're making fun of Red Bull.
It gives you hands,
Yeah,
or it gives you
wings.
arms.
Yeah.
My
Remember he
old
used that
job.
work in a comic book store?
Where's the door?
Yeah.
Where are the comics?
3D printing the comic.
He said, "Where's the door for the comics?"
That's silly.
Food truck sells pizza tacos.
I got a wiener taco.
I got a taco inside another taco.
What did you get, Rocco?
Heather sounds a little off to me.
Yeah. He's a little bit like less
Rocco sounds perfect to me though.
comic movies.
Yeah.
3D comic book movies. Another satire piece.
It's so realistic.
I love it. It's so cool.
It's so funny right here.
What? I don't understand.
Now
what
it
happened.
starts. Now it's starting. Reboot.
Oh. Okay, so it's not a timepiece. They're just saying this is now coming into this era. I
Yeah.
see.
They're
So
making
it's just the trailer.
They're
that
just
showing.
satiring modern life.
I see.
Oh my God, she's still in it.
The 21st century is a very dangerous century.
He sounds a little off too now, though.
A little bit.
It might be the mics might be better. You never know.
It could be.
And then the Hey Arnold Jungle movie.
Is it the same people that did the voice?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll look it up.
Huh.
The next news story of the week is Thor Ragnarok trailer.
I'm really excited for this movie.
Still trending number 2
The
after a couple
trailer
days.
made me super happy.
I never even watched the full trailer
reminded me
yet.
of
So I want to see
Country
it. Push play.
Let's go.
So
What's
much has
up?
happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh. So then I went on a journey of self-discovery, where I met you.
I like that he doesn't just say yes
The
anymore. He's getting so
music.
tired of that. Yeah, music's awesome.
Where are we? You have no idea. Hela, the goddess of death, has invaded Asgard.
Oh, I've missed this.
And you and I had a fight recently.
Did I win?
Both trailers has chose such good songs.
Easily. Doesn't sound right. Well, that's true.
Asgard is dead. And it'll be reborn in my image. I thought you'd be glad to see me.
We need to stop her here and now to prevent Ragnarok, the end of everything. So I'm putting together a team. Like the old days. Surprise! This will be such fun. Hello. Hi.
So that big wolf
Fighter.
supposedly plays a big role in the comic book.
Isn't it supposed to be Fenrir?
Yeah.
I'm not a queen or a monster. I'm the goddess of death.
Hulk was really good.
Yeah, he does.
What were you, the god
His
of
details
again?
improve so much.
Yeah. Oh, look at his eyes. That's sick.
God, Thunder, bitch.
Good.
When is this coming out?
We're the same.
Very.
Wait,
very soon.
don't stop it.
I'm just
just a couple of hot-headed fools.
Yeah, same. Hulk like fire, though I like water.
Well, kind of both like fire.
And Hulk like raging fire, though I like smoldering fire.
Wait, why do you pause?
That's it. That's all it is.
November 3rd. Damn, it's so far away.
It's so far away, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Because Hulk is actually talking like he did in the comics.
Yeah, well, supposedly he was Hulk for 2 years, so he was able to develop a basic vocabulary, so he could talk like a normal person now, supposedly. Even though it's kind of weird, he was able to say puny god when he was in Avengers, but I guess he kind of retains a little bit of that intelligence from him. I don't know. But it's still cool. It's looking really awesome.
Let's see what happens.
I think he's gonna give Hulk is gonna give that funniness that Baby Groot gave Guardians, in a sense.
I feel like they
little snippets.
I think you might be right.
I think the Guardians of the Galaxy thing is coming into all their movies now.
I don't know about Baby Groot, but Adult Groot maybe.
Or maybe more like Drax.
Well, not that stupid level, but yeah, not that.
I'm just saying
intense.
the comic style is probably the comedy style I think is coming into this movie from
Guardians.
For sure.
They do run into the Guardians.
They're gonna run into it in this movie.
I can see where it's
for sure they're gonna.
Plus, it was really popular. Guardians blew up, so
I'm gonna say for sure they're gonna run into Guardians in this movie.
I hope so. This movie is so sick. Anyway, moving on. And for all you people out there who are Star Trek fans, Star Trek Discovery new trailer is out.
Checker. Doesn't matter. Let's go.
All right.
We have a trailer.
Don't know what he said, but let's do it.
For the new... There's a difference between the two, but...
Is born from
both
chaos.
are good in their own ways.
This is the official trailer.
The world doesn't always adhere to logic.
This is for the new show, by the way.
Star Trek Discovery.
Sometimes down is up.
This is gonna make me cry.
That's from the
I don't
Pirates
know.
of the Caribbean. Down is up.
About these new aliens they have.
You're found.
Wait a minute.
What?
The Klingon Empire has been in disarray for generations.
It's the lady from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
We've encountered them.
We have been waiting
The graphics
for
look great.
someone worthy of our attention.
Soheil doesn't like the captain because she's female.
Has nothing to do with that. I don't like female captains.
Okay.
Captain Janeway, I never liked her.
Well, isn't that what I just said?
I didn't say I didn't like. I just say I don't think I'm gonna like her. We'll see what happens.
You don't like her.
Change is the essential process of all existence, Commander Burnham.
Go!
You must challenge your preconceptions, or they most certainly
That's my
will
personal
challenge you.
What the hell is going on this ship? Run!
The show is so convoluted already.
It doesn't. It looks like it's gonna be action more than.
It doesn't even look like
what Star Trek is supposed to be.
Star Trek's supposed to be like a drama, basically like a soap opera first.
Exactly.
Getting very close.
I don't know.
Is that Rainn Wilson?
It looks like it's trying to be J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
I hope so, because that's the cool one.
It's Rainn Wilson.
That is not the cool one.
The guy from The Office is in it.
Great cost to yourself.
Dwight.
That's Dwight Schrute. Thank God he got another role.
I know, right?
Holy moly.
Getting worried for
He
him.
did well as Dwight.
Don't you want to help me end it?
Why do they always have to upgrade the Klingons? Why do they always have to change
Why
the
is somebody floating through space? What did they do to upgrade him? I couldn't tell.
That was a Klingon. Yeah.
Wait a second.
I thought it was
Go
one of
back.
the monkeys from the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
What,
Go all
what
the way
time?
back.
What time?
All the way back.
All the way back?
The middle. The first quarter. First quarter.
First quarter? Are you kidding me?
Stop right here. Stop right here. Right here.
Right here?
Yeah, wait.
I was so distracted by the Walking
These are the
Dead.
Klingons.
Those are Klingons?
Yes.
Those guys with two nostrils?
Yes.
What?
These are the Klingons.
Why did they have to upgrade them?
They're like J.J. Abrams ones.
Oh my God.
I think they're pretty.
I think they look dumb.
Very ugly.
They look like.
Looks like straight up Planet of the Apes.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, they look like Beatles. Like human Beatles.
It reminds me of that alien from this really old film called Enemy Mine.
Yeah, but
I don't like that they're
those
hairless.
guys had weird mouths.
They talk
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
hairless. They're all hairless.
I want them to have hair like they're supposed to have.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm gonna ask a really stupid question. Isn't Spock a Klingon?
No.
No, he is a Vulcan.
That's right. I forgot.
You need to go back and study.
You need to stop trolling, please.
Okay, and moving on. Okay, Ready Player One.
Comic-Con trailer number 1. It was actually looks really good. So
Pedram is so excited for this, right? It was like it's all he could talk about is this book.
I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to him.
Okay. Pedram's in our previous podcast episode.
Columbus, Ohio.
But we're gonna watch the trailer here,
In
so let's see what
2045,
happens.
it's still ranked the fastest growing city on Earth. But it sure
Cincinnati,
doesn't seem like it
Ohio.
when you live in the stacks.
But she has a VR headset on.
We'll see what happens.
A lady in the
They called our
trailer.
generation the missing millions. Missing not because we went anywhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere.
Power Glove.
Except the Oasis.
What the hell?
Oh, dude, is this a sequel to Hardcore Henry?
No.
Hardcore Henry is not VR for the 18th time. Just because it's first-person perspective.
I like the Wonka song.
That's the Iron
What?
Giant.
What is the Iron Giant doing in this?
Yeah, it's because it's Warner Brothers owned.
That is awesome.
You're gonna see other things in this.
This is weird.
Like a scorpion with a machine gun on it.
Is that Thor on top?
So this is like a video game battling world that they go into.
Yeah, basically, it's a VR world that you can do anything you want in.
Huh.
I'm not gonna lie, guys.
Spilsberg.
I'm a little excited.
So it actually represents their location. This is cool. So there are a bunch of people with VR headsets are kind of running to this little place that they...
Maybe this is the future
like
of VR,
they're getting
guys.
to a car, sort of.
Future of VR right here.
But they're hooked up to this machine that holds them in place like a car.
That's an orc, son, from Skyrim.
That's the Back to the Future car.
That's really cool.
Oh my
The Back to the Future car.
That looks so dope.
Fucking DeLorean.
There it is.
Nice.
I don't know what to think. I'm ready to get. I'm
gonna.
willing to give it a
I want
chance.
to watch it. It looks cool.
I don't
Well,
know.
what
I'm a
was the
little
last-
worried. What was the last one?
Film that Spielberg did.
Don't remember.
Super 8.
Maybe.
I don't think. I think it was more recent than that.
J.J. Abrams did Super 8, didn't he?
Maybe he's produced movies, but you're asking which one he's actually directed?
He's directing this one, right?
Uh-huh.
He directed this one.
Anyway, moving on.
I'm just excited because of Spielberg, man.
Moving on. And for those who love Psych, all right,
Psych.
here we go.
Yo, buddy. Long time no hablas.
You literally called me 3 minutes ago.
Well, what can I say? I missed the velvety smooth timbre of your retorts. Now, are you sitting down? Because I have big news.
Don't tease me, Sean. Is this about Pluto?
Even bigger. Psych, the movie, is, wait for it, finally happening.
What?
I know. But you know what this means?
It means you need hair.
Gus, it's a summer cut. Old English sheepdogs do it every year.
Man, you don't know about sheepdogs.
You know about summer cuts.
Whatever.
We got to get back in shape.
You better speak for yourself.
No, Gus. I mean, we got to get back in psych shape.
Right.
It's not really a
Let's
trailer.
twist
It's more
this.
like a teaser to the show.
Ha! Let's sit next to each other. I like it.
You should watch the show. It's really good.
I've never seen the
This is
show.
my partner,
Oh, it's so
John
good.
Pond.
Gus
This is
actually
my
just
partner,
joined Suits
Dale.
in the new season.
This is coming back and forth
This is my
between them
partner.
They're
doing
training.
a workout. They haven't done anything yet. They're just brushing their teeth and standing around.
He's making jokes from the movie, from the show. You have to watch the show to know what he's talking about. He used to do these things with his eyebrows. They used to do.
Here, son. Come here, son. Come in, girl.
What does brushing your teeth have to do with psyching
Again, you
up?
have to watch the show.
Come in, child.
Come here, child.
2, 3, go.
In the show, he
What's
says.
the point of doing it that hard?
He didn't say that in the
I've
show.
heard
He
it
says,
many
"Come
ways.
on, son."
I've heard
It was a
multiple
joke they
ways.
made.
I've heard
And
it
they-
only one way. I've heard it 3 ways. I've heard it this way. Try harder.
He makes this noise all the time when he gets touched. He goes, "Ugh."
I see. So they're practicing for all the previous jokes, and things they've done this.
They're getting into psych.
So just so you know, the guy that wrote this show was working on the Jungle Cruise.
What? You heard about plutonium?
He left maybe 10 years ago.
Saturn?
12 years ago.
Damn it.
Maybe 15 years.
I've heard it.
And pineapples are a big thing in the show. Every episode has a pineapple in it. You have to find it.
I've heard it both ways.
Was like
a joke.
A real pineapple, or
It's always a real pineapple. You just have to find it.
Come on, son. Come on.
Come on, son.
Come on. Suck it, son. Suck it. Come on, son. Who's in the group? Come on, son. Come on, son.
That's where you get that from.
All the sun?
Yeah.
Sun?
Hello. Fly, son. Fly, son.
Watch the show. It's so good. Season 1 is not so good, but the rest are really great.
Come on, son.
It's coming. Psych, the movie's coming. It's going to be so good.
You know what's coming? Psych the movie.
I
You know
think
what else is coming?
It's coming to USA. It might be a made-for-TV movie.
You want to know what else is coming?
What else is coming, Tommy?
The Defenders trailer at Comic-Con. That's what's coming.
Oh.
Never mind. It's already here.
Trailer 2, right?
Trailer 2.
So the first one, what they show, they just showed like
The first acid trip trailer, and now this was the actual trailer.
We got the teaser, which showed like the punch to Luke Cage from Iron Fist and like some other small stuff. But let's see what this one has.
Play the trailer. I haven't seen it.
About war is it only works if both sides believe they're the good guys. The truth is, we're not so different. We fight to get back what
This one
was
seems to be
once
based on
ours.
story, so we get a taste of the story now.
Oh, that's so cool.
But in the end, and this is the end,
Susan Sarandon.
it's just a city. You'll get used to watching them fall.
Ooh, Elektra.
I think we're safe for now.
So she's part of the Hand, Sigourney Weaver?
No, there's no
Sigourney Weaver is part of the Hand?
What is
Alien.
that? We're not here to eat.
She's
Are
an
those
alien?
pork?
No, the shrimp. Oh, this guy's got pork.
God, you're weird.
I'm not looking for super friends.
That doesn't matter.
I still have to
Fight
watch
these
Jessica
people.
Jones.
Not even with whatever it is your hand can do. It's cheap.
It's not.
They're hunting our friends, our families, and they're not gonna stop there.
More death is coming. And the only thing keeping Manhattan from crumbling to a pile of dust.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver is definitely part of the Hand.
The war for New York.
Elektra is also.
It's over.
Elektra's the leader.
Not yet.
They're supposed to do.
Hey, this summer, when is this coming?
Nice ears.
They're horns.
Finally, he's in his full
I
uniform.
can see you've formed a
Daredevil.
kind of bond.
Like everything we've seen
promise you
before,
it's
he just had
temporary.
His uniform in this is so dope.
Elektra.
They will disappoint you.
Jessica.
Like it or not, we belong out there together. I'm glad we found each other.
I'm not hugging you.
It looks good.
I
It
really
looks
dig
like
it.
it'll be fun. Just drinking a beer on the subway. Or is that a latte?
I think it's a
It's
beer.
been a long week.
Nice.
Oh,
August 18th.
August 8th. This is like so close.
Ugh.
Oh, it's episodes too. It's not like a movie. Oh, I'm so excited now.
What? You thought it would be a movie?
Yes.
No.
For whatever reason, I thought it was going to be a
Dumb.
movie.
By the way, the last
I'm
movie,
even more excited now.
the last movie that Steven Spielberg worked on is called the BFG.
That
Mm-hmm.
Big fucking cookie.
good thing you mentioned that because I'm gonna say
Gun?
something about that later.
The big fucking gun. I have no idea what just happened. But all right, let's move it on.
All right. Valerian, the world's worst movie ever made. Oh.
No, the full title is Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah, see, I was close. All right, so let's get on to this. Valerian, City of 1,000 Planets, written and directed by Luc Besson and co-produced by Besson and his wife, Virginie Besson-Silla. That's a really intense name.
She hyphenated the last name.
Yeah. The film is based on the French science fiction comic series Valerian and Laureline, written by Perry Christian and illustrated by
Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude. These some French names are hard. Miserius. It stars Dane DeHaan as Valerian and Cara Delevingne. Man, these names, man. How you say her last name?
Cara Delevingne?
Yeah, as Laureline.
Delevingne, I don't know. Soheil.
It's very hard to say.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find out what their names are.
Okay, we just said the names.
We just said the names.
Anyway, going into development.
Soheil, hold on. Soheil, what else has Luc Besson done?
He has done Fifth Element. He has also done Leon the Professional, which is really two great movies. Leon the Professional and also Fifth Element. So
Fifth Element, I think,
and he also
that's the most similar to this movie, so that's what I was expecting the movie to be the most, right?
And also, yeah, and he's done Lucy. I never watched.
It was a combination of Lucy,
but basically, it was supposed to. It felt like he was. There was a Easter egg in this movie.
Star Wars.
There was an Easter egg in this movie from the Fifth Element, but I don't want to throw it out there. Anybody?
Anyway, going into development, although Luc Besson loved the Valerian comics growing up, he did not seriously consider adapting them into a movie until he was working on the Fifth Element project. During that project,
tells you what's going on in his head when he did that.
During that project, William Besson had tapped into the Valerian illustrator Jean-Claude Mizir, or whatever his last name is, to work on the film. Who asked Benson, "Why are you doing this shitty film? Why don't you do Valerian?"
Fifth Element is sorry. We'll talk about this later. Go ahead.
Although at the time Benson felt that making the film was impossible given the vast monster to human ratio, over the years he reconsidered the project until he finally found a way to make it. The release of Avatar served as both a blessing and a curse for Benson, as technically I could see that we could do everything now. The film proved that imagination is only the limit. However, he also felt that James Cameron pushed all the levels so high, which made him believe his script was not good enough, and thus he rewrote it.
Oh, God. I wonder what the first script was like.
Ultimately, the storyboarding for the film took 7 months. Holy shit. The project was first publicly announced.
That previs, though.
Exactly. The project was first publicly announced in 2012. The two principal stars, Dana DeHaan and Cara, I can't say her last name.
The girl.
The model, were announced in May of 2015 and
August 2015.
In August of 2015. Oh, right.
Clive
Owen signed on to play the commander Arun Flitz, whatever his name is in the film.
You're really bad with these names.
I don't like these names, dude. The budget, here's the thing. The budget of the movie was a whopping $197 million. Pounds. It still feels like a lot. By far the largest assembled.
Or euros. Is that euros?
Yeah, it's euros, actually.
Oh, yeah, I meant euros.
It's by far the largest assembled for a French film. Previously, Asterix at the Olympic Games was the most expensive with a budget of 78 million euros, just ahead of Benson's The Fifth Element, which was 75 million euros. By the end of August 2015, Benson said that in an RTL radio interview that shooting the film in France was too expensive because it was shot in a foreign language, to them English. Benson was unable to benefit from the tax credits despite preferring to produce it in France and create jobs for 1,200 crew members. The criteria to open these tax credits were then adapted accordingly. In May of 2015, it was announced that Fundamental Films would invest $50 million in the film.
Wow.
Moving into the filming aspect.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about this. So,
long story short, they paid a lot of money and didn't make it.
Well, he was inspired by Avatar, and he thought about this film when he was doing Fifth Element.
Well, his original idea was like, there's no way I can make this. It's just too creative.
When he was making this movie,
does this ring Star Wars prequels at all to you?
Kind of. It kind of does. But at the same time, what he was doing what he wanted to do is that his technology wasn't there yet for me to make Valerian. That's what he said. I remember him saying that one time when I was reading an interview about it. And then when the technology got here, he said, I want to make it. Basically, that's what George Lucas said with the prequels. Same story as George Lucas. He just said, I don't think I can make the stories yet because the graphics aren't there for what I want to do.
Right.
I have pre-wrote these in my head, but not. I'm just saying it wasn't.
Yeah, the graphics
done.
was hard to, it wasn't something you could do. And then, of course, Avatar came out and everyone's like, holy shit, we can. But the bar was set so high, they're like,
but that was like the highest budget for a movie ever.
I know, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still doable. So, I mean, to them, if the story's good enough and if you can get enough money, sky's the limit. So that's what they did.
Throwing it out there, Fundamental Films is the Chinese movie conglomerate. So that fund $50 million coming from a Chinese movie group explains a lot of reasons why you had a lot of Chinese.
So my question, why did they film it in France when they could have done it in China? If they're being funded by China?
No clue.
Because then you're not going to be able to get the best talent for your...
Fly them out China for a little bit. They flew them out to France, right?
I mean... We don't know. They might have done some of the scenes in China.
They could have. I don't see why not.
Then they don't disclose it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like they were filming some, and then Fundamental's like, "Hey, we'll give you some money."
But the Europa brand is the Europa logo is Luc Besson's. So he basically runs that. I forget what it's called. Shoot. I guess producing company. So he's the one that runs that. So overall, the movie was funded a little bit by him, a little bit by his team, the Fundamental Films, and some of it was done by the studios like STX and all that stuff. So I don't know. That's Europa, by the way.
Interesting fun fact. The principal photography of the film began on January 5th of 2016 in 7 sound stages just dedicated to the film at the Cité du Cinéma in Saint-Denis, north of France. In total, there was 2,734 visual effects shots.
Probably
Holy
almost every shot.
shit. That's a lot. This
movie's graphics are amazing. No, don't just throwing it out there.
The biggest strength for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you just looking at it, you get a big Fifth Element vibe, except a little bit overboard because, like you said, Fifth Element is mainly humans.
Yeah.
Hardly any CG characters in it besides those guys that like move their head around. But even those guys were masks majority of the time.
Yeah, most of the time in Fifth Element it was all characters that were not CG,
like bodysuits. Yeah,
bodysuits. It was like practical effects. This one has a lot of CG in it, but the CG does look great. But the problem
it's amazing.
You can have CG and still have problems, like great CG and still have problems. And we'll talk about those problems in a minute.
But what this is based off of, the Valerian and Laureline, the comics.
Laureline,
that's what I meant. They actually greatly inspired.
Go ahead.
What's that, Will?
Star Wars.
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, a lot of Star Wars elements. So you got like Han Solo, frozen in carbonite. Same exact thing happened in the comics. You have a character like Princess Leia with the bikini on, and she's like kind of like a warrior, like fighting people, and that happened in the comic strip. Their main ship that they flew around was shaped like a saucer, very much like the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
And if you see the trailer, you'd see the resemblance too, because it looks exactly the same in this movie. Some characters are very similar, like Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader had some really similar characters as villains in the comic strip. One had the Darth Vader looking character, had a helmet, and underneath he was scarred, just like Darth Vader is. So there's a lot of inspiration that went to Star Wars that probably George Lucas saw. He was probably reading it as a kid, inspired him. Yeah, I want to do this kind of thing in my movie. In addition to the samurai movie that he copied in as far as the actual storyline.
Yeah. I mean, it has some elements. You don't see the Star Wars stuff so much in here.
Yeah, the story here, no, not at all.
But you do see the elements of the comic.
Yeah.
But this movie is really...
It gave me a little bit of a Star Wars vibe. Just
it has some things like some of
it's
the...
in space.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Because it's in space, but also you get some of the aliens kind of are interesting when you look at them, and some of them have languages that you don't understand. So it's kind of like Star Wars episode. It kind of had a Phantom Menace feel to me.
Yeah,
with some of it.
That's why I said a little bit. Kind of gives you a feeling like this director went back, wanted to do everything he could, had a lot of yes men around him, so he got away with a lot of stuff he shouldn't have. At least that's what it feels like.
And then, I mean, getting free money usually from $50 million that you get from
you know what they say,
company in the middle of China.
When in France, oui.
That's not okay. Continue with your story.
Anyway, let's talk about the characters a little bit. The main character, who was Major Valerian, played by Dane DeHaan.
He also played. This is the character that you'll see in the movie, the guy that's in the suit with the girl, and he also played the Green Goblin. I forget, Norman Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like the most notable one that comes to my mind. But what else did he play? Soheil.
Oh, I don't know what else he played.
That's pretty much all I can remember.
That's all you can remember. I thought he did okay in that role. I didn't like him as much as Franco, but when he actually came to being the Green Goblin, I thought he did a pretty good job at that.
I will tell you though, in this, I didn't like him. The kid was it was stale.
We'll get into that.
No, we're
more.
doing it now. That's it. Just chop block.
So
now.
one thing I want to say, one thing I was going to add in real quick is that this movie is really weird because the comic books are called Valerian and Laureline, right? But this movie is called Valerian. Mm-hmm. So where the hell is Laureline?
By his side. But not in the title.
Why not in the title? That makes no sense.
Yeah, she takes
I don't know. Maybe they thought
a lot of the screen time. So
she's in the movie a lot, and she needs to have I mean, I think the reason they did that is they thought we'll call this movie Valerian, and the next movie we call Laureline.
Or maybe the title was too long. I don't know. Because
Valerian and Laureline?
Valerian, it's not just Valerian.
Valerian and Laureline and the Thousand Suns.
It's Valerian, the city of 1,000 planets.
It's too long.
They could have taken out
Valerian and Laureline and the city of 1,000 planets.
Or just take out the city of 1,000 planets. It's already explained in the trailer.
That's true.
They don't need all this.
They should have just called it the City of 1,000 Planets and it made that the movie.
Well, when the movie started, I was actually I really liked it. It started off with kind of the satellite and then people in space, and then time flew and more people, like different countries kept coming to the space station,
and then China.
It kept growing, and it seemed like North Koreans came at one point. Maybe my mind's playing tricks on
Chinese,
but it seemed like North Koreans to me.
No, it was Chinese.
No, it was Chinese.
Yeah, it looked like North Koreans with like Russians, like they were there.
It was Chinese that came on, and they're all like smiling, and then they like hugged them really weird. But
yeah, and then more and more time passed, and as time passed, we just started having aliens come to the space station, and then more and more aliens came to the space station, and eventually it grew to be large. And the whole time it was playing Major Tom, what was it called?
David Bowie.
The David song,
Space
the Bowie
Odyssey
song, and it was amazing. I really liked the opening to it. The song, it was great. But as soon as you're introduced to Dane DeHaan, I hope I'm saying his name.
That's
right.
when the movie takes a dump.
That's when it started. I'm not liking the movie as much.
Honestly, the characters, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Dane DeHaan, the character, poor acting, wooden acting. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's your acting that sucks or the writing.
No, it's his acting. It's acting sucked. He was trying so hard to act cool, and it's like, dude, that's not.
His acting wasn't great. Maybe the writing was really
Was he supposed to act this way, though? Because he's like, I mean, even Tommy said, I think, he was acting like Keanu Reeves the whole time.
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves, that's his normal acting, to kind of act like you know, kind of stone
why are you
cold
trying
face.
to act like, why?
I think he's supposed to kind of the same way. That's the only role he can really pull off. And is this character supposed to be that way?
No.
I don't know.
His player is supposed to be his character is supposed to be a womanizer.
Is it?
That's what I think.
Yeah, like a womanizer with quick wit, fucking like the bad guy. Imagine like a James Bond.
That's what he's supposed to be like.
Of space.
Remember how she's like, show me your. He's talking about like she's like seen so many women.
Sorry, you ever seen the Archer?
Okay, wait, can I finish
the Archie comics?
Archer.
No.
You never seen Archer?
No, I don't know.
The cartoon James Bond, like, witty thing?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Nah, just to forget you.
Holy shit.
So
you got something to do, guys.
Is that something? So he's supposed to be like a character that has a lot of women in his life, but he's too ugly to be someone like that.
Well, he's very small and
it looks like a kid.
thin.
It looks like a child.
He looks weird
and young looking.
Maybe he's good looking to some women, but I don't know. For some reason,
he's not ugly.
My mom even.
Ooh.
My mother. But you also like Luna. Josh, that guy looks like a goddamn
Diego
toothpick.
Luna?
Yes, it looks like a toothpick. Moving on.
Look like a furry toothpick is what he said?
The other person that I want to say is that if my mother makes a comment that the man is too ugly, then he's too ugly. So my mom,
Your mom.
my mom does not make comments on people's looks unless they're very ugly, and she said this guy is very ugly. So she can't be a player.
Everybody's a little different, but yeah.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a toe. But let's move it on. He needs. They need to make the character better. The storyline didn't make sense in this. Agent Laureline was also wooden acting,
and Laureline is played by Cara. We discussed it previously. Cara Delevingne.
You love saying the full names to you.
How do you say that? You know French.
Cara Delevingne. She's not French.
Know French.
How do you
She's
pronounce
Welsh.
it? Oh, Welsh. I guess Welsh. Okay, I'm sorry.
I will say. I would say right now, if it wasn't for her, I would have not watched it.
You're dumb.
Because she's beautiful.
So
That's
not
a
only
lie.
that,
You watch it anyway.
you have bigger actors in this. You have Clive Owen in it. Clive Owen's a huge actor.
Yeah, I agree.
But maybe he's not done a lot of stuff lately.
He was an amazing actor back in the day, and
He
I feel like
played.
they
He
wasted
played
him.
Commander Arun Fillet, and
Dang, these names are hard.
Yeah,
Commander
there's a lot of
Arun.
weird names, and he was the main person that they go back and forth between, right? He kind of would send Valerian on his missions and be in contact with him a little
But
bit.
before we go a little further into him, let
Okay.
me just go back real quick and just point out the biggest issue here was you had Dane's character as Major Valerian, who was very stale, and then you had Sergeant Laureline, right, who was also Laureline, who was acting the same kind of stale as he was. It was literally like watching two people with the same personality bump into each other.
There was no There was no love.
It was like watching twins.
There was no character
Like identical
interaction
twins.
that felt real.
I really hated her. She was such a bitch.
I loved it.
Well, I thought the same thing about both of them.
And he was just so stale. Like,
Yeah, but they both
He was
weren't-
cringy. He was cringy.
So what
like,
the thing that I was watching is like, okay, when you have someone that loves somebody else, but maybe one doesn't like the other as much as the other, usually have a fun chemistry that you guys play off each
Yeah.
other. This was not fun.
This
was really
awkward.
it was
they were
really
both
awkward.
They were both trying to act like badasses. That was the problem. They're both trying to act like badasses.
Right, but even if they're trying to act like badasses, it didn't feel like the chemistry.
Well, think about it.
was
In most movies, right, you always have like that one funny person or someone over the top emotional. This was like two no emotional person together.
Right. No, I
trying
think,
to run a scene of emotion.
I
And you're
agree.
like,
I
what?
agree with you 100%. There was no emotional connection between the both of them.
Like rubbing dry sandpaper
Well, for
together.
me, there's two things that kind of killed the movie for me, and that was Major Valerian was supposed to be this highly valued agent, right? Like he's supposed
So
to be
good.
amazing, so
Yeah.
good, and I never really got the feeling that he is.
Yeah, they didn't really
he's
give a
kind of
shit.
like. I got like the Inspector Gadget vibe where he's just clumsy
He keeps improvising.
and Laureline was the one that would actually help him out in most situations to get through them.
I don't think maybe that was what's in the comics. We never watched the comics. I never read the comics, sorry.
Maybe, yeah.
But maybe he was like a happy, like a more lucky type character, kind of like James Bond is.
Yeah. Well, second reason is the love story.
That was terrible.
Oh, those cringy
Because they have a little bit of a chemistry, but then they go overboard and make it all about like this really terrible love story.
Oh,
and
Wait,
that
stop, Tommy.
that really killed
go
it
ahead.
for me. It was the dialogue went on forever. They were looking at each other's eyes forever. You could hear their lips smacking against each other constantly forever. I did not enjoy it.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I just randomly remembered that I saw James Bond this week. The Spectre.
That's
I don't know. It just came to me. I was like, it was something I saw.
one cares.
The Spectre?
Yeah, the last one.
Spectre.
Moving on.
Yeah, and that's why, like, when I'm thinking of Valerian, if he would acted like,
what's the James Bond's name?
What?
He's
James
asking
Bond.
about the actor, right?
The actor. What's his face? Daniel Craig. Yeah.
Okay, why'd you say Spectre?
Because that's the name of the damn thing. The movie, the last one.
Okay.
All right. So
what do you mean? Okay, I'm saying I saw it.
You saw
I
Spectre.
Yes, I saw Spectre, which is the James Bond. That was the sequel, and that kind of acting is what I wanted for Valerian, like that kind of badass.
No,
But we didn't see the comic books, so
It doesn't matter. You get the kind of character that he's trying to be.
Here's my thing. I really wanted this movie to do well.
I did too.
I really
actually.
wanted. I saw the commercials and I said, "Oh man, something original, something original sci-fi, something that
could be multiple."
I didn't really.
movies.
I didn't want it to. I didn't care if it went multiple. I really cared that it looked like it could be something that was original that could be fun to watch,
like Treasure Planet.
And as you got into it, you're like, is this gonna start rolling in this movie?
Oh god, like the beginning.
Yeah. Well, the beginning is good.
Oh my, no, are you kidding me?
I thought
like for like
cool.
10 minutes she's just sitting there breathing. You're like, come on. I saw you
not
physically.
you're not talking about the beginning. You're talking about when the
Avatar looking people came out. I watched the movie in your head going, come on.
From the first trailer they showed were those tall, skinny
Avatar characters.
Avatar white characters. So not
They
blue,
look
they're
like
just
Zora.
white. They do look like Zora from Legend of Zelda. But
without the fishy tails.
Without the fishy tails or fins. But I hated those characters. And from
This
the
scene
trailer,
right
I thought
here
they looked
reminded me
dumb.
of,
I didn't like them.
Star Wars.
Every scene they were in, the way they walked, the way they acted, I didn't enjoy them.
Why do they have such high-pitched voices for
I still did not enjoy them in the actual movie. So,
Yeah.
You know that scene where they're going down like multiple levels of the city?
You're talking
when they got the VR
virtual
thingy on.
Okay,
you remember?
You're talking about something that killed your suspense of belief. It killed it for me.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell's going on? But you remember Star Wars Episode 2 when Anakin's jumping off those cruisers to find? It was the same city.
What?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about. I'm lost.
Star Wars Episode 2 when he's a young kid, they're chasing some dude in a car chase in the air.
He's talking about Coruscant.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
looked
like
just like it looked just like that shit.
It does not look like it.
It kind of looks like
They stole that crap, man.
Coruscant.
Multiple level of
Can I say something before you couldn't finish? Coruscant kind of looked like New York City from Fifth Element. So here you go.
There you go.
Okay, so what I was thinking when Tommy mentioned that, there's a scene in the movie where there's a market which you can only see with special glasses on that allow you to
can go
see
to a
it.
different dimension.
Well, when in the regular reality, it's only like a desert.
It's like
And
empty
I thought that was pretty
right.
cool. You have to put your arm in this thing to make it go to the other dimension, and then it can actually grab stuff and bring it back with you.
That was really cool.
I thought that was a really cool idea, and I
great.
like the way it was executed. But what killed it for me is it has, like Tommy said, multiple levels.
going
and how the
down.
hell do you have multiple layers? There's a thing where it goes down a sewer grate to fall through multiple levels, but he's like running through shit. How are you running through shit in a sewer grate? Like a little tiny little area.
I don't know.
And he actually goes into the ground.
That breaks it for me. Yeah. So how does that
but it was-
happen?
that's
How does
like-
it fall through thing?
We don't know yet. That didn't really.
What if they actually showed him walking into a wall or something?
what if-
It would have made it more enjoyable.
What
for me,
if
'cause,
you were standing?
But he's actually struggling down there.
But what if
around.
you're standing on a level and somebody was standing under you? Would you be standing on top of the person on the desert?
You could be
standing
but
on the
here's
shoulders.
the problem. You
You
guys-
would be because
Right? It wouldn't make sense.
one reality messes with the other. His arm is the only thing in the other reality, so he can't go through a fence because he'll get stuck with his arm. So that's what broke it for me.
So when you're thinking about it, anything that's in one dimension is like a different dimension. So if it was in one dimension, he was basically in both dimensions at the same time. That's why it was
just
really
his arm
weird.
was in one, and his rest of his body was in
Yeah,
the
but it
regular.
doesn't. He's still in both dimensions. So technically,
Well, he was
he's
in both. But then
So-
he was able to like actually be like teleported.
Don't let that kill you too much because this movie didn't make sense in a lot of parts.
I thought that was a really cool scene, but like I said, that was the only thing of it that really killed it for me. Besides the fact that he was being really clumsy Inspector Gadget the whole time with it.
Yeah, but he seemed
not
like,
being cool Valerian. But
yeah, he seemed like a person that runs for it, kills, runs and gun, doesn't really think. But in the beginning,
all luck.
But at the beginning of the movie, he's like got the best memory and the smartest fighter and all that stuff.
Yeah, I scored 200 in my last memory test.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't read the book? I don't remember.
Yeah, that was it. You didn't read the
yeah, it's
memo?
like all talk.
Well, I knew that was all boast. He was just boasting to the girl. That was it.
I know, but it's still
well,
time.
something makes him a good agent. What is that?
Yeah.
What makes
But
it?
not only
Was it his
that,
memory?
it's his
no,
playlist.
you always forget everything.
It's his playlist.
Not only that, the graphics, in
his
this
playlist.
movie, this graphics in this movie could not save it. By the way, her name is Cara Devangeline. Is how you say her name.
And her beautiful face can save it.
But when you watch this movie, you kind of see what they were trying to do is they're trying to the graphics cannot save a movie that has piss poor writing. The writing is maybe it was made for a European market. I don't know, but when we watched it here, I really felt something was missing. Something is wrong. Because the writing was really bad. The ads for this made it seem like a different movie than it was.
Yeah, and the chemistry with the main characters
Larry
didn't
said
fit.
it didn't fit. Yeah,
They
let me
look
say
too much
something real
like
quick.
siblings than actually like people who could be. So it kind of felt weird.
Yeah, but let me see if I can
like
find
brother sister.
Let me see if I can find the scene in a
Bruce
second.
T, save me now. Oh, Bruce T. Ah.
Bruce T is owned and operated by Bruce Lee's daughter Shannon. A portion of all profits fund the Bruce Lee Scholarship Program.
I suddenly like Bruce T a lot more, even though it tastes like shit.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's 1% juice.
Oh, that's good. But the way the story was written also was wrong in my mind. It came out wrong because it doesn't make sense the way it was written.
Nasty.
And at the end of the movie, what they did is they decided to throw 100 revelations at you at once.
Yes, I
found
agree.
this out. I found this. Lexus funded this movie.
Lexus?
That was a Lexus car. By the way, that boat over there is from Fifth Element. Lexus funded the movie.
I did like that. Remember, this started as a space station. So when you get to the core of the space station, you have the original parts of the original space station with the flags of the original things and like the lander.
It's basically ISS going crazy.
Can I ask you a question? Why is it that in every sci-fi film, any big underwater monster is so fucking slow?
It's because it's underwater?
It shouldn't be. It should be quick.
So that you can run away from it?
It's so silly.
By the way, have you ever thought of the times when you swat at flies and flies seem to get faster than you? Think of it this way. When you swat at a fly and it's already like over here, when you swat it over here, think about how slow it thinks you move. Boom shakalaka.
I know, you got me with that, so I didn't say anything. I didn't think of that.
There you go.
Except I'm not in the water, bitch.
Well, you should be in the water.
Okay.
Anyway,
so this movie was crap. Don't watch it. Save
Speaking
your
of
money.
things moving weird,
Can
what'd you
I-
guys... Sorry, go ahead.
Can I tell you what I think?
Yes.
What'd you think?
yeah, Ellie, go ahead.
This movie sucked. No, I mean, I personally like all the visual effects. I like aliens and space stuff, and it's this cool space and like I thought
Like, look at that. That's just so cool.
Luc
I don't
Besson.
know. It reminded me like movies like other than like Fifth Element stuff, which it had a little vibe in there. Like movies like Fantastic Planet or
Treasure Planet.
No.
I don't know if you guys know what Fantastic Planet is. It's that hand drawn one from the 60s. There's just these blue aliens and these tiny humans. I don't know. It just got me vibes from like those 60s sci-fi films, which is the comic strip's probably from the 60s, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Exactly. So I did get that vibe, and I did like the creativity. So it was something different that I haven't seen before within like the alien world. So I enjoyed it. It hit home.
Will, what'd you think of the movie?
But the acting sucks.
What do you give it, Ellie? Before I move on to Will.
Oh, really? We're
I was
getting
gonna,
ready.
I was gonna
I
ask
wanna
you
rate
guys what you thought of Bubble,
Oh, Rihanna.
played by Rihanna.
They could have cut her off. Just so stupid.
I agree.
The character, the idea of that character was cool.
Another
It's like a
still acting,
shapeshifter
though.
character.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It was a cool idea, but they should have never had Rihanna do the acting for it.
Because you can't act.
No, she could
did
do
not-
the model. She could do the model part. Fine, that's
Yeah.
fine.
She didn't fit in.
dancing, all that stuff. But the part that she should have not done is the voice acting.
Yeah, she did not
Holy
fit in.
shoot.
It was like totally stood out.
It was like she sounded like she phoned that in with a phone call.
Like,
It's like,
hey,
what do you want me to say now?
hello.
Oh, I just jumped in the pool. Oh, that hurt a lot. Like, oh my God, you did that over the phone or something, because that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded terrible.
In fact, in some of her dances, you could see that it wasn't her all the time. I could tell there was a lot of scenes where it was just like someone else.
Well, a lot of them she's not going to do some of the movements, but she's a shape-shifting alien. You could see that from the trailer, so I'm not giving away anything.
All right. So, well, the rest of the characters are minor. So, you wanted my rating?
Can I just give?
I want Ellie's rating.
Yeah, I didn't
rating.
want
The
your
Asian guy.
rating. You wanted my rating
Oh,
first.
I'm sorry.
Chris Wu. He's basically a contingent from the Chinese government.
I'm telling you, that guy was a goddamn walking chalkboard. That's all he was.
He's not even a walking chalkboard. That guy's like they took a
His face never moved. Like they just told him breathe. That's it. Breathe and regurgitate lines.
I'm gonna
Don't
tell
make
you-
a face.
I'm gonna throw this out
Imagine
to you.
everyone is invisible.
I'll throw this out to you. He basically was a wooden plank that they painted some face on and said say some words.
He was plankton from Ed and Eddie.
He was not good. And
Maybe he had a bigger role in China. You know how they edit things.
Yeah, they're gonna edit it a lot. They're gonna make him into the commander. Probably it's probably a swap.
Probably.
He'll be the commander, not the big commander, but the guy that
was figuring stuff
the
out.
good commander. Yeah. And then we'll see what happens.
Anyway, Ellie, I want your rating.
So I hated the acting. Story sucked. but I like the aliens and stuff, so I give it a 5.
Wow,
Ellie.
That's really generous.
I know, it's pretty generous. I mean, I would maybe consider watching it again when it's on DVD or on Netflix, just to get that alien world vibe again.
I would,
but not for the acting or the story. I wouldn't.
I would love to watch this movie on mute and just make up my own shit.
No, exactly. Well, I would love to watch it on Netflix playing a video game. I mean, paying half attention, just paying,
it's a
looking when I
fun
want to.
adventure movie, kind of. You know,
they spent a lot of money making this movie. Look, Lexus. Wait. Look at the front of the jet. Wait. Right there. Lexus symbol.
Huh.
Will, what do you think and what do you give it?
Well, I said wow because I totally agree with the 5. I think even though the writing was terrible and I did not enjoy a large portion of it, it had a lot of saving graces. It had some really enjoyable parts, some really funny characters, even though most of the jokes fell flat. Some really cool concepts to it, like the market, even though the layers killed it for me. It's some really cool character design, and I really like it's not a Jabba the Hutt guy, but it looks like Jabba the Hutt. He reminds me of the pig guy that we just saw from the trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2. But it has a lot of saving graces.
John Goodman, too. How did they get him? Jesus.
So I agree, 5 out of 10 arms stuck in dimensional boxes, but I would give it like a 7 or more if it was without a love story at all.
I would
take the love story out.
I could have easily given it an 8 if the acting was good.
Yeah, for me, even with the bad acting, take the love story out.
Storyline, I would have given.
Take the love story out, and just make it so that they have that competing nature between the two of them. I don't take away kisses and stuff like that. Make it so they're just like competing with each other and trying to save each other and trying to one up each other, kind of like they do without the love story intertwined into it. I would enjoy it a lot more. Maybe because that dialogue just killed it.
Yeah, the dialogue was bad.
They only got a star from me. I would have been 4 out of 10, but they got 5 out of 10 because they used a Bowie song.
The beginning was great. Like I said,
that was like
Soheil, what do you think? What do you give it?
So I'm not going to be as generous, but the reason why is because I have things that I have to make my peace with.
Well, 5 is average, so
I was going to say that this movie
below average
is below average, and the reason why it's below average, to have a movie spend that much money to get such garbage dialogue, such garbage. Not acting is not all bad. I'm not saying they're terrible actors and actresses. I'm just saying the way they acted this movie was completely. It just felt like garbage. Maybe the writing was really bad. There was characters. The characters had no chemistry. The main two had no chemistry. It felt really awkward. It felt like something I would watch on Mystery Science Theater 3000 and would make fun of. So I really thought this movie would have been fun with some social commentary at the backside of it. Yeah, maybe. It'll be great. Some of the actors like Rihanna were really phoned in. I'm not expecting very much from a singer, but it wasn't the best. I think the originality of the story is amazing. I think this could be made into something really great in the right hands and the right story writing. I have issues with the sound music, except for the David Bowie thing. There were scenes in this movie that needed music, but it was completely silent. And it really bothered me because I thought, you know what they could have did?
Given it to Christopher Nolan?
They could have done it just like Guardians of the Galaxy and put
it would have been amazing.
Yeah, just done Bowie songs or something like that.
Yeah,
all the way
all
through.
Bowie songs, awesome. Right?
Yeah,
and that would have been great. But what they decided to do is put one Bowie song in it, and the rest of the songs kind of didn't fit in some parts.
Yeah, I feel like they just used most of their budget for visual effects, which were great, but then everything else just lacked.
They're like, all right, now they got all the visual effects down, guys. How much money we got for the story?
Like
$10.
No, it's not. It's not even like that. It's like, how do we cut these scenes together? I mean, I'm not saying I'm like a genius story writer, but I would have did this story completely different.
I'm telling you, the mistake had to be that he had too many yes men around him.
Yeah. Probably.
Just like George Lucas with the prequels.
Yeah, I mean, the yes people came around, gave him a lot of problems probably, and then this movie was made, and he's probably sitting in his house in France and saying, I'm very, very sad. It's going to do great in France, don't get me wrong. It's probably going to make most of its money there because
they're in China.
They're in China, but the reason why it will make money in France is because people over there know the comic book. It's kind of like when you talk about Spider-Man here, you know?
People just watch it anyways.
They're going to say... No, they're not gonna say it sucks. They're just gonna say I know that character.
Well, it's like our Spider-Man series.
We don't know that character.
Like some of our Spider-Man suck. Then people still watch it.
It's not. Yeah, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like if you say, "Hey, this is Agent Laureline, Agent Valerian in France," you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, I know those guys." But if you said that to somebody like 2 years ago on the streets of America, they'd be like, "I don't even know who the hell that is."
I still don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Basically, over there, it's like something that has a lot of nostalgia for them. So it'll get a lot of nostalgia sales, is what you're saying.
So it'll get nostalgia sales in France.
Yeah.
So my rating is going to be a 3 out of 10. It gets 2 points for graphics, 1 point for sheer funniness of really awkwardness.
So
the pigeon aliens.
So you're giving the Dogon doggies or doggis. Do you remember how they say their name? The little people with the bat wings and the long
pigeons.
beaks with the little mouths on the end of them, and then the stubby hair.
Yes,
they're like the weirdest looking but coolest alien, like funniest alien I've seen in a movie for a long time. They reminded me of the really like ganky worm like people from Men in Black.
They look like water.
Yeah.
They honestly look
but they
like
were
water.
amazing.
They were the saving grace of the comedy.
Yeah.
All the other comedy in this movie was really fun.
Well, hold on. The other alien I thought was kind of funny though was the Bolin Bathor, the one that fished out the person.
No, she was it was another. Was not the one that fished. It's the alien type that fished them out.
Right.
But she was trying to that alien was trying to dress.
You're talking about the
girl.
dressing scene.
Yes.
Yes, that was funny because that just seemed very awkward and fun.
Well, the face they were pull off
but
from it.
that's
but
not
The visual effects again.
So you're giving that a 3?
Animation.
Visual, yes, I'm giving that a 3. That's why I said sheer awkwardness and weird funny moments gets at 1 point.
Okay.
But the reason why it loses so many is what was promised in the trailer as a very, action intense, probably very heavy duty adventure story fell really flat. These two were not great for me. So you get a 3 out of 10 freaking multi-pass in the trash.
Multi-pass.
So I'm sorry.
As for myself,
she's very pretty. Bye-bye.
Here is kind of how I think. The graphics, yes, they are good, but in today's time where you're getting a lot of movies with graphics in the same kind of sense, and especially when it comes to space stuff, it's not something that's going to put me over the top. Because although it is great and looks nice, you see it everywhere now in most sci-fi style films. So you can't have a movie based off of just graphics and expect everyone to be impressed.
Well, no, you're right. To the point where people want more practical
movies
effects,
still make money off their graphics.
I mean, to a certain point, you're gonna get to a point where it's like, oh, cool, nice graphics. All right, what else you got? Because everybody knows it's like a superhero. Oh, he's got powers. That's cool. What else? Now, because we have so many superheroes, but before you get one guy who could super punch, you're like, oh my god, right? But now there's so many heroes, you're like, oh, so what? He can punch. So it's the same kind of deal for us now. It's like, oh, that's cool graphics. So what? Every movie has it now. What's new with it? It's like an iPhone. So as far as graphics go, yeah, it was great and all. I give it a half point for the graphics, 0.5.
What's your total score? We don't need to break
the acting. Shut the hell up. The acting sucked. It was pretty terrible. As far as how they were executing things, the guy was just crap. All the other actors, the action was actually pretty bad for a movie that was all about action. A lot of their action scenes was just like, I don't know, just felt really flat. Like they just kind of passed over it when things were happening. And the aliens were horrible. They were absolutely garbage.
What are you talking about? The aliens were the best part.
I'm kidding. The aliens are actually pretty cool.
Oh, there you go.
They're definitely acid trip creations. So in total, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 3, 2.5 points for how good looking the girl is, and that's about it.
3.25.
What?
What did you say?
I said I'm gonna have to give this a 3. 2.5 points for how good looking the girl is. So 0.5 for graphics,
16 out of
2.5 for the good looking girl, and that's all I got.
16 out of 40.
I don't get it. Wait, so what's
okay?
the
We got 3 points in total. 0.5 goes to graphics, and 2.5 goes to, hey, Kara's kind of hot.
You're stupid.
Well,
it's the 40%. What is it?
Oh, you guys want to know what it's going?
It's a 4, right?
The score is crap. This is DVD only.
This honestly, it's too good looking to be a DVD only movie, but on the story.
Like I said, this could have been an amazing fucking movie, but they ruined it. So
anyway, Ethan Hawke's in it. Have fun.
This is one movie America can't save. Get it? Because we're always saving the French in wars. Okay. Speaking of war, Dunkirk. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Steven Spielberg, the Christopher Nolan movie based on the World War II events of Dunkirk.
It was a big thing.
It was.
A lot of stories about it, a lot of misconceptions.
It is written, co-produced, and directed by Christopher Nolan himself. Nolan wrote the script, told from 3 perspectives: the land, the sea, and the air, to contain little dialogue and create suspense solely through details, which he did excellently.
Yeah.
The filming began in May of 2016 in Dunkirk, France, and ended in Los Angeles, United States, where it also began post-production. It's actually pretty amazing that it took a year to film this, which it looks like it would take a lot longer. The cinematographer, Hayote van Hayotema, wow, that's a hell of a name.
That guy?
Totally Japanese.
Shot the film on IMAX 65mm and 65mm large format film stock.
That's awesome.
For all of you who don't know what that means it was really expensive. The film made extensive use of practical effects, such as employing thousands of extras, assembling boats that had participated in the real Dunkirk evacuation, and using genuine era-appropriate planes for aerial sequences.
Well, those are really well done. I mean, you couldn't even tell that they're effects.
I had no idea.
Oh, and then I read up
I
that
thought the whole thing was practical.
Something else that made this film unique is that, they used that super expensive film, IMAX film, but they used it for the first time as a handheld. That's what
the hell? That's awesome.
They handheld.
Well, they had a lot of the scenes. A lot of the scenes were like really close up.
Yeah, they were.
That's pretty cool. It has grossed over 107 million worldwide and was praised by critics for its cinematography, direction, and acting, and of course Hans Zimmer's musical score. That guy and Christopher Nolan go hand in hand.
Pretty much.
And with some of the critics calling it one of the greatest war films ever, as well as Nolan's best film to date.
I don't know. Did you like it as much as Saving Private Ryan?
I think Private Ryan's better, personally.
I think Dark Knight was better.
Okay.
That Life is Beautiful was better.
Moving on to development. 25 years prior to making the film, director Christopher Nolan came up with the idea when he and his wife Emma Thomas sailed across the English Channel to Dunkirk. Nolan wrote the 76-page screenplay.
76-page.
Yep, about half the length of his usual scripts.
Yeah.
And it's his shortest to date. It was written with a precise mathematical structure requiring the basis of the characters to be fictional rather than taken from the actual eyewitnesses. Nolan decided to make the film as I told from 3 perspectives: the land, the sea, and the air. Nolan structured his story from the point of view of the characters, with the intention that most of it was to be told visually, which meant doing away with dialogue and backstory, which, again, he did very good with. The entire film was made to encompass the snowball effect that had only been used in the third acts of his previous films. He approached the research as though it was a documentary film. What made the project attractive to Nolan was its inherent contradiction to the Hollywood formula. As the Battle of Dunkirk was not a victory and did not involve America, yet demanded a big-scale production to be put on screen. Nolan decided to postpone Dunkirk until he had plenty of experience directing large-scale blockbuster action films, to accurately convey the perspective of the soldiers on the beach, for whom contact with the enemy was extremely limited and intermittent.
Yeah, you hardly saw them at all when you saw them.
Yeah, because
I think we saw them for like a second.
Yeah, you saw like an outline of one near the end, and like that's well, 2 actually, but that's it.
He made a conscious decision to never show the Germans on screen. He also omitted where Winston Churchill and any scenes of the generals in the war room. As Nolan did not want to get bogged down in the politics of the situation, he found inspiration in 11 films: All Quiet on the Western Front, The Wages of Fear, Alien, Speed. That's interesting. Unstoppable.
Really?
Greed.
Yeah.
Sunrise. Ryan's Daughter.
Who's Ryan?
I don't know. And the Battle of... I read that as alligators, but it's Algiers.
Algiers.
And the Chariots of Fire and Foreign Correspondent.
Interesting.
The only two of which are war films. The film's historical consultant was author Joshua Levine, who also wrote the book adaptation Dunkirk, The History Behind the Major Motion Picture. Levine accompanied Nolan while interviewing veterans, which during these interviews, Nolan was told a story of soldiers who were observed walking into the sea in desperation and incorporated it into the screenplay, which we also see in the trailer.
Yeah, there's one guy that just went out there.
Yeah, just starts taking stuff off and walking.
Screw this, I'm going to try to swim it.
Yeah, it was like a moment of like, I need to die.
So the whole thing about this movie is it's a historical, a fictional account of Dunkirk, the battle, or in French, it's known as Dunkirk. But it's on the north of France, kind of.
Well, it's got other names too, like the Miracle of Dunkirk and some other names.
Well, I'm just saying the name of the city.
The actual city,
in French is Dunkirk. But maybe I'm butchering it.
So for those of you who don't know anything about it, I actually, ironically, didn't know anything about Dunkirk until this movie. But it's basically about the British and French soldiers who were pretty much pushed to the beach. All the wars always end at the beach or side of the beach.
The reason what happened was in the World War II, World War I, they chose the opposite effect. So what they did is they put all their weak soldiers on the Russian line, and then they attacked France, and they attacked. They attacked France. They attacked Poland. They attacked all those.
Well, no, what happened was Belgium's north of France, right?
I was trying to explain the plan.
Actually, what happened was...
the Schlieffen plan was from World War I. So World War I, they went and attacked Russia really quickly to take over Russia, and then they put like a weak front on the Germans.
And it's always a mistake to attack Russia.
And then they made a mistake there. But then on this time, what they decided to do is France decided, hey, man, Germany attacked us last time, and then I came into France, and it pisses off. We're going to build a giant long-ass line called the Maginot Line with all these giant turrets and, huge trench made out of all these, brick and all this cement. It's huge. You could see it from the air and everything. It's giant turrets, like tank turrets on top of it. But they forgot that the Germans would just fly over it. So they just flew over it and dropped all their guys behind it and took it over from behind. So it was a waste of time. What happened is the Germans came in so fast to the north, through Belgium, through Netherlands. They attacked to the north and went past the Maginot Line, pushed all the French out. Basically, once they went around Paris, the French gave up. We're going to bomb Paris. Either you give up or what? So the French said, we don't want to fight no more because we just can't handle this.
Well, this happened too. They sent an attack force to Belgium, which is north of
Everyone's
France.
got their story.
And when they were distracted with Belgium, the French soldiers and the British soldiers mainly just went to Belgium. And then their main force, that was just a distraction, went to France. And that's when all this stuff happened that Soheil's talking about. And then because of that, the British soldiers were not able to get down in time and a lot of damage is done. And this is when kind of like Belgium, France together. Dunkirk's pretty much at the border of Belgium, pretty much. So all the British soldiers all of a sudden had to get ferried out from Dunkirk.
Yeah, and it's a really intense the way you kind of see the mind games. I mean, in the very, very first scene and also in the trailer, they're dropping papers that says, "You are here and we surround you."
Yeah, there's always leaflets that get dropped on people. And the reason why the leaflets happen is it's a mind game. So those leaflets get dropped on you saying that you're going to lose this, we're going to kick your butt, da-da-da-da. There was a lady in Japan also doing radio stories on the radio saying, Americans, you're losing, give up. Same with the German side. There's the same stuff.
Yeah, I remember during the Vietnam War, they'd be on those radios saying, give up and we will not stop fighting, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's always some kind of mind game happening. But at this point, I think there was...
They said 450,000 soldiers were on the beach.
French and British soldiers
were trapped on the beach.
And there was 800,000 German soldiers actually coming into this area.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think what happened, one of the biggest things that happened is they basically surrounded them and attacked them with planes. Germans had lost almost 200 planes on this battle because they kept trying to attack the beach, and then RAF kept coming in and fighting them off. There wasn't just 3 planes like the movie kind of says.
Well, they even cover it in the movie, though, where the soldier would be to the Air Force, the British Air Force, where were you? because all these planes kept bombing the
the general does say that they're saving it for the battle for Britain. That's why.
But it's
there's
also
not enough
because,
boats. There's not enough planes.
Yeah, it's also because they can't see the battle
because they're
so far away.
They're retreating, so they don't want to use all the resources for an evacuation when the war might hit our shores.
Well, no, I understand,
immediately.
but the Air Force was there, and they did lose quite a few, and that's how they have the whole air part of the movie.
Yeah.
But the soldiers couldn't see him.
Yeah,
there's only a few though, but not a whole lot. And this is and we're seeing, and remember the scenes that we watched was like towards the end of it. We didn't see like, from the beginning of Dunkirk. We saw it like literally towards, it's gonna be over. I mean, I think the whole story was what, a span of 3 days, 4 days.
I don't know how long the battle was, but the battle is just like 1 or 2 days worth on this movie because you don't see too much in it.
Yeah,
but
because they're running out of water. There's like no food. No one's eating anything.
Right, and that's exactly what happened. It was called as Will said, the miracle of Dunkirk, because things happened in this that people didn't think would happen, like people surviving with very little water, very little supplies.
I mean, you see it in the trailer that the miracle is, and if you know your history, it's the fact that the small ships were able to get them because the beaches are so sandy, you can't get large ships very close.
Right.
And the large ships are being bombed by U-boats and all other things anyway.
Well, it was also because regular people like you and me that would take a boat and try to save military people, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Even though they were commissioned by the government, many of them did decide to go on their own.
Yeah, I like the movie a lot. I like that the storytelling was mostly visual.
Mm-hmm.
I really did like that. But I think they could have done the visual storytelling a bit better. I thought they could have introduced the characters a bit better. I know he kind of forego introducing the characters, but they all have their little introduction. The movie starts with this one guy who will be our man for the land, and he's like the sole survivor of this little group, and you just follow him around and feel bad for him. But I would have liked maybe a flashback or maybe him looking at stuff a little bit more. I don't know, something more. I think more to make me feel for the character, because I didn't really care about him.
Yeah, I think his goal was to just, because if you notice, all the guys kind of look the same. They all have the same kind of haircut, same look. Of course, they're in the army, but it's like
for each the air, the land, and the sea, we're introduced to characters we're supposed to feel for. Mainly the most heartfelt characters I really felt for was on the sea.
Honestly, it reminded me of Battlefield 1.
Yeah, you're looking at
it's just like a random dude they picked, and then it's from his perspective, and that's it.
You're talking about the game.
Yeah. So
Battlefield 1,
like the beginning story where they just you're just suddenly in the action.
Yeah, this is
that's kind of what it was like.
What I think he was trying to do is not to build
characters
too much.
I know he didn't want to do it. I just thought I might have joined it because you get the feel for the characters, but it's like halfway through you get the feel for.
But
the
I think he doesn't want you to. I don't think he wants you to feel for some of these characters because they're like. It wants you to feel how they felt.
Yeah, just how the soldiers felt.
Maybe
right now I get it, but it's a strength and it's a weakness. I think.
Yeah, I just think that maybe that he was going after fodder feel. Oh, this is their fodder, so don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was aiming more for you to experience what it was like to be there. What it sounded like, what it looked like.
The feel of this movie is great visual. It's kind of like WALL-E in a sense. I'm not going to throw this out there, but WALL-E,
the first part of WALL-E,
very good storytelling without very much talking,
mm-hmm.
and you're able to watch this.
Very classic cinematography.
You don't even need to you can just basically listen to it.
Watch it on
cover
mute.
your ears,
you can watch
cover
it on
your ears,
mute
and watch it. Yeah, and say. It's great, but the sound effects are awesome because the Spitfire sounds like a Spitfire. The Spitfire machine gun sound is exactly a Spitfire machine gun sound.
I think all the sound effects.
The Stuka dive bomber, when it comes in, is exactly what it sounded like, and basically the sound it makes it's like a wailing banshee.
Yeah, it's really
scary.
Really cool.
But everything in this movie, I can't explain enough. I thought it was an art piece more than it was a movie.
Right, and you can see some of the elements that he used in his previous films, like Inception, Dark Knight, all these other films that he's done, Interstellar. You could see some of the filming elements that he's practiced essentially, and then used in this. Because he said himself, he held off until he kind of had some practice with like some big titles, and you could see where that filming style was in this as well. And ironically, so were some of the casts. Which brings me to the casting. Tom Hardy, Kenneth Branagh, and Mark Rylance were in the talks to join the ensemble as supporting characters in the late of 2015. Fiona Whitehead was cast as the lead in March 2016, while Jack Lowden, I can't say this guy's name, and Enrin Barnard and Harry Styles were added to the shortlist after. Cillian Murphy joined the following month. James Darcy, Barry, oh God, these names.
A lot of names.
Barry something, Tom Gillahami. These people were all included in the lineup later. Yes, they were all included later that May. After the first-hand accounts of Dunkirk evacuations revealed to Nolan how young and inexperienced the soldiers were, he decided to cast young and unknown actors for the British setting, which, by the way, was a good idea.
Yeah.
Nolan was also adamant that all of the cast be from the British Islands. Or Isles, sorry.
Which is good.
I mean, he did a good job. He loves Tom Hardy, so he'll use Tom Hardy in all his movies.
Well, apparently he begged Tom Hardy to be in this.
Yeah, Tom Hardy, he loves Tom Hardy. He puts Tom Hardy in everything he makes.
Yeah.
He hasn't made a movie yet without Tom Hardy, I think.
Yeah, and Tom Hardy, I'm pretty sure, is really happy
and he
about
also loves, I forget his name, but the guy that played Scarecrow.
Cillian Murphy. Well, he's a really good actor, too.
There's one casting thing that really bothered me, and that's Mark Rylance. Do you guys know who that is? The father character.
Oh, yeah. What's wrong
that
with
was
him?
On the Sea?
Mr. Dawson.
Yeah, what's wrong?
Every time, we mentioned it earlier, BFG. Every time he spoke, all I could think was a giant from BFG.
Oh. I never watched that movie, but all right.
I will.
That's all I could think of.
I did have one problem with this movie, and it was the father in the movie. You see, like, there's a kid who gets on the boat, and then literally his entire storyline was pointless. He gets on a boat.
No, his storyline is very important because
why?
It's about bravery of someone that doesn't even. He decided that he was going to go, even though he's 17 years old. He's like, I'm going to go. I'm going to save. And he's like, this is going to be dangerous, son. You can get off now. But no, he doesn't.
It's just to show the civilian side where they're just willing.
But they're
to
also civilians
the
too.
The
kid gets pushed, and then
yeah, but he gets killed by hitting his. Something happens in the boat that he gets.
And
killed
it was
from.
and then there's like a whole little like sentimental part because the other kid that was on there, the older kid, there was a little conflict between him, the soldier, and the other boy, and what happens to him. And how he treated it, because I don't know if you guys got that out of it, but I did. Like, he was more sensitive towards the soldiers who knows what's going on.
I'm a man.
What are you doing, Will?
Cannibal.
That's all I could hear whenever he spoke.
How rude.
Is it the same guy?
I'm a man gobbling cannibal.
He didn't sound that stupid.
Sound just like that.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure. You don't even know.
Anyway, Will, stop distracting.
Exactly the same.
Okay, who cares?
I'm sorry, Ellie. You go ahead.
Holy crap!
The thing.
I mean, I get, and I see where you're coming from, Elliot. Where
I'm
it's
not
more
trying
of
to ruin
like,
it because
I see where you're coming from. I don't know. I don't know. I felt like it was kind of thrown in our face a little bit at first, and then like unless you really paid attention to it, you would have missed it.
You need to understand it from the side of if you take yourself back to when you were 16.
I confirmed it. Same actor.
Same actor. So then you were right. But if you looked at it. Think about it. If you're 16 and you're finding out there's a war, yeah, you want to go join the war as a warrior, but you're not going to you don't know what's going to happen. You're just going to jump in with your friend and go on a boat. You never told your mom you're going on the boat. You never told your dad you're going on the boat. You're just going to get on this boat and go to France.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little ballsy, but I mean, again, I felt at first.
So his character was what the average 15, 16, 17-year-old was thinking at the time. I want to go save my country.
I'm telling you, man, this is a movie that you need to watch twice in order to really appreciate it.
You know, that's true because you actually feel for the characters more the second time around. At least,
yeah.
That's
well, you have to understand the storyline. I felt really bad for the characters on the boat. I personally know a lot about these planes. I love these planes. There's a BF-109. There's a Spitfire, Supermarine Spitfire. Then you have a Heinkel bomber, and Spitfires at this time of the battle were not as good as the BF-109s.
Spitfires.
That's a BF-109 firing.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. So,
damn it.
The BF-109 basically had just throwing this out there for people that know history or appreciate it. BF-109s had directed injection engines, so it's like really close to what you have in your Mercedes-Benz and now. So the engine you would push in the instead of having a carburetor that would do the work, and the oil getting messed up in it.
So they had their own NOS?
No, there's no NOS. So when the plane inverted,
can you imagine a plane on NOS?
Can I finish before you keep talking about planes on NOS? So you go when your plane inverts like this, like this is the top of the plane. You decide you go like that, right?
Okay.
Imagine you did that, but in a direct injection, you're not going to have an issue with overflowing the engine with oil or gasoline. It won't overflow and then be too rich and then burn black smoke out the back. You know, when you when you push your engine
when
to
they
the
do
max,
all those like weird crap in the sky.
No, when you push your engine to the max, and all of a sudden you smell that weird smell.
Yes.
Imagine that, but out of a plane, but with black smoke because oil's going into it.
Okay.
The Germans never had that problem with the Bf-109, but with the Spitfire, when they did that, the engine would cut out and would slow down a lot. So if someone was behind you and they had that, you both flipped, you're going to slow down. He's going to catch up and he's going to cut through you and fly off. So that was a big problem with the Spitfires at the time. So it was really interesting to see them not do any flips, because if they did flips, they would have been screwed. Because it was very interesting to see dogfighting at that time. That's when the Bf-109 was really good. I'm geeking out about
this one. Planes were first like becoming actual like fighter
planes. Because in the beginning,
in World War I, it was just barely flying, right?
Yeah, they were flying in cloth. Now they had metal.
Yeah.
So if you shot someone with cloth and you had an incendiary round, like some people have the tracers,
catch on fire.
Yeah, the whole thing would catch on fire and you would die. So that was really interesting to see. Supermarines are like super amazing planes. The ones the British were flying. Those are awesome planes. They have a lore behind them. English people love those planes. So if you talk about it with any British person like, do you know the Supermarine Spitfire? They'll say, are you stupid? I know everything about it. And then, so
stupid.
The British love that plane. The Bf-109 is a great plane itself. The Henkel is the one that was the bomber that dropped the bombs with the round dome in the front and the long rounded wings.
Mm-hmm.
You see that in this trailer too, and they're also in the Battle of Britain. So you'll see them if they ever make a Battle of Britain movie, which I hope he does. It'll be great to see.
So overall, good plane choices. Cinematography was great. Sound was amazing. Sound effects were amazing. You can feel the tension. You didn't need all the dialogue, and it still made a great movie. At first, I kind of didn't like it as much, but
you were really negative at first.
But it grew on me. It grew on me the more I started thinking about it.
Reflected on it.
I reflected on it. I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Actually, yeah, this is actually
the
not
only
that
part
bad.
I started laughing at is in the end of the movie. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put my arm on your thing. So
the plane
loses losing engine, but it was like gliding for years. I thought that
felt like years.
I thought that sucker was going to go into another dimension. He was just going.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, where are you going? He went one way and then he went the other way. I'm like, this guy must be going.
He U-turned and shot somebody.
The Goblin was on the wing helping him fly.
Whatever was happening.
Well, those do glide though. I remember talking.
All planes glide, obviously.
No, it'll glide for a while. I remember talking to someone who does fly small planes.
We went from daytime to nighttime.
I said, "Aren't you scared of like, when if you run out of gas or something?" He's like, "No, I'll just float." I'm like, what?
You glide.
I'll float down. I'll glide down. I'm like,
you will glide, but imagine gliding in a war zone. Like you're losing speed. You're not going to be going the same speed you were going. You're going to lose a lot of speed because air has resistance. So he's going to lose a lot of speed to the point where he's going to say, okay, my nose is going down. All I can keep by going faster is go down and swoop up like this. Swoop up. Kind of like you do with Mario's.
I mean, maybe he did, and we just didn't.
Great little
the physics
cape.
of Mario.
Yeah, cape with Mario.
He might have, and it just didn't show us.
Maybe he was doing that, but he went one side of the beach, and then he went the other side of the beach. I was like, how long is he going to continue flying around? I mean, like, he has no engine. It was great. But Tom Hardy said had a few lines in this movie. You didn't even know it was Tom Hardy unless you.
Yeah,
really
I mean, they literally just jammed him in the cockpit and said, "Film all your stuff." He probably did all the filming in like 2 days. They just jammed him in the cockpit, film all this for 2 days, and then goodbye.
This movie was awesome. It is a testament, my personal testament, to something else. I'll say it then when I give my rating. But go ahead.
Since you're on a roll, go for it. Okay, yeah.
Go ahead, Ellie. Go ahead, Ellie. I want to hear Ellie's stuff. She's an art person.
This film was pretty. I'm a huge war movie fan. Like they make me cry. Like I really like them. But for some reason, this movie did not make me cry or get that sentimental. Like there was a few parts where it's like I felt that, but nothing compared to some of like my favorites, like Life is Beautiful or like The Pianist or any of those. It doesn't get to that point.
Those are very like Holocaust heavy.
Yeah, those
like
are
Jewish,
Holocaust.
Yeah,
it's still World War II.
No, I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying they're very
This is
focused on one thing on that.
Yeah, so this is a little different, but I mean, you still get the humanity in it, like what these soldiers suffered through. It's a whole different perspective, which I appreciate that a lot. It's not the typical, another Holocaust, film.
Battlefield, what was it? What he said, Saving Private Ryan? I felt sad in that movie too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
Saving
that's
Private
another
Ryan,
one.
yeah.
So it is possible, without being a Holocaust movie, to get that sensitive about it. But this one I didn't get quite there. There was maybe a few that I was like, oh my gosh.
I think
was
because you didn't see the enemy. That might
maybe
be a
it could
big
have
deal.
been. Maybe you could just
Well,
see a
to me, Saving
confrontation.
Private Ryan really, kind of introduced their characters in the beginning. You got to get a feel for the characters, and that's what made the ending so sad for me. And this, you don't get to know the characters as much.
But
And they're always on the move.
What I also thought is this: when you looked at these characters, you thought of it as how the government saw these characters.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. They were like the government, basically
Numbers?
just
Yeah.
numbers. And that's what you're looking at. I felt like maybe he's like, I don't want you to have a connection because they're just numbers.
Right.
We just want to show you what the people did. And I felt a little emotional when I saw all those boats coming
Right,
up.
that was maybe one of the
Yeah.
only parts.
And you're like, yay, they finally got there. And then
Yeah.
you're like,
I agree. That's the only
Yeah,
emotional
because you're
part there
just like,
was.
man, these guys cannot catch a break. Like every time you're like, all right, now they can take a breath. Nope.
And that was a sad part of this battle. I mean, you had a lot of losses on both sides. The Germans didn't go without any losses. But at this point, you also had all of France fall.
Mm-hmm.
And France became whatever it was called, Vichy France or Vichy France. I forget what it was called. But it became a different country with a puppet to the Germans at this time. But at the end of the movie, had an amazing, iconic scene that I fell in love with, my personal preference. But I believe, Ellie, that it wasn't emotional. It wasn't as emotional as other movies.
So that would being said, I was like, I've been trying it. Maybe if I watch it a second time, I might have a different opinion. But that's where I feel maybe if they were trying to do that, which there was hints that they maybe had tried, it didn't get quite there. And maybe it was the storytelling a bit. It's hard to do a visual story thing.
Emotional
movie.
with visuals.
Yeah, it's really hard to do. So and
Pixar does it every short they have in the beginning.
And I mean, the movies that I mentioned that are like my favorite, like some of my favorites, they do have a bit of dialogue, and it's like mostly one person you're focused on, not a multitude of like different characters.
Yeah, three different areas. Yeah,
and you kind of get sometimes you get kind of this movie that doesn't go without its thing. Like you brought the multiple people up, William earlier, and so did Ellie, but you get confused because you're rewatching or seeing scenes that you watched in other parts. Rewind and replay, but from a different visual perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But you may get confused and say, did they
I was a little confused.
just have that happen again?
Yeah, that was a little confusing.
So just a
or
little bit.
did I just watch them from a different perspective? I understand it as a different perspective because there's scenes that you're watching like maybe somebody doing something in the air, and then you see the same thing happening from the sea, and you're like, oh, okay, that's just them seeing it from a different perspective.
Yeah,
But-
so this was just hard to keep up a little bit on that. So that's the only like negative
like The
thing
Walking
I
Dead.
find on that. But I mean, like I said, it's hard to do a completely just visual story. So other than that, I like everything else about this film.
My hands down favorite scenes is when you can hear the Spitfire coming and no one says anything, but you can just read on their face as they start to duck down, like they know what's coming.
You mean the Stuka?
Or whatever it is. The plane when it's whatever plane that's coming in is like
The one that makes the sound is called Stuka, yeah.
Yeah, as it's coming and they all just kind of look up and then they just kind of like in uniform, they just all go to, no one says a word. They all just know like, okay, this could be it, this could be it, this could be it. But not a word is uttered. And it's like such an intense scene, especially the way they use the sound. It is just, it was like, damn, that's like, I would sit in my seat and go, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Woo! That was intense. That was intense. Like you could feel like what they would feel, in those moments, and that was my favorite.
I think my favorite
Capture that fear.
But the Ju-87 or it's called the Junker or whatever 87 dive bomber, it had like something on top that would catch air and would make that sound. It was purposely done to
Really? To make it
instill
more
fear.
menacing?
Yeah, to instill
That's cool.
fear. Have you ever heard of the P-51 U.S. fighter, the one that everyone loves called the Mustang, the American fighter?
I think so, yeah.
The one that like all steel and all cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
it had a sound to it too that everybody was afraid of, but that was not purposely done. It was because the machine guns were put in a little bit too much, and they made this like sweet sound and go. That was on accident. They didn't mean to do that. But the Junker, sorry, I'm trying to do German, was made to be scary on purpose.
That's really cool.
It's scary. I remember whenever I read it, my teacher told us about it. He was a World War II vet, old guy, like old guy, and he was telling me like, yeah, those suckers were scary. I was really scared, and then he retired like a year later.
It was a really cool time period because we were just barely getting a lot of this technology. The tanks were just kind of reaching maturity. Planes were just reaching maturity. A lot of technology was just reaching maturity. So
and a lot of
really
countries had their own ideas on what to do, and the Germans were on the forefront of a lot of the technologies. Germans even made a jet.
Yeah,
we didn't even know.
Didn't get anywhere.
Yeah,
but yeah, they made a jet.
Well, actually, it took down a lot of planes. But
it actually.
Yeah,
so I thought it was just
end,
tests.
No, they had one fly at the end.
Oh,
it fought a lot of people, but the problem with those jets is that the people couldn't fight them, so they just like flew up, killed somebody, and they took off, and then they couldn't land.
Huh.
So sometimes they even flew at them, and they made even self-flying bombs, like suicide bomber type stuff. Germans were going crazy at the end. They even made a castle that went like 15 floors down. They're crazy. But anyway, my person. Can I go? You want me to go first, Tommy?
Might as well.
Okay, so this movie speaks a lot to the Nolan brand of movies. Like, people still find Christopher Nolan's movies something to go see. And even though this movie didn't have so much said in the trailers, if you watch the trailers, you really don't get too much. You know the story probably from your history books, but you don't know if it's going to be good or not. You just think that this is going to be the story. But when you went to see it, it speaks a lot to his thing. Visually beautiful, sound awesome. Storyline kind of had some weird things in it that I don't think it had anything to do with how it was written, but maybe the perception of the viewer was a little bit off. Scenes like 1 minute was night and the next day it was morning, and we didn't even know what happened. There was like a shot of night where the guys are on the beach at night, and all of a sudden the plane's in the daytime. Like, is it plane time traveling?
Sometimes the accents were really hard to understand too.
Oh, I didn't have
especially
that
in the beginning.
No, I didn't have a problem.
I did. So did Encore. We're like, what did you guys just say?
Well, it's maybe because you guys were busy talking to each other. But
nobody was talking.
I'm just kidding. But I like this movie a lot. I want to give it a solid 8.5. A solid 8.5. It could get more. The only reason I don't want to give it higher, like a 10, is because it did have parts where I was confused, and I even had to turn to somebody and ask them, did they replay this, or is this something? And they're like, yeah, I don't know either. So when two people were confused, I had to look at it, and when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is not replay. They're going to do this constantly in this movie.
And they try to tell you that it's three different perspectives, but they screwed up by the way they told you.
Well, they told you in the beginning, because it was good.
Yeah, well, I didn't understand it. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, you have to really pay attention. But 8.5 is not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. As a really good score. I mean, 8.5 for me, and 8.5 is great.
I agree with everything you said.
I gave Guardians of the Galaxy 2 a 9, so relax, guys.
I agree with everything you said, and I also give it an 8.5.
Oh,
Ellie, what about you?
I actually agree with that score. That's the one I had in mind, 8.5.
All right, Will?
7.5.
Oh, lower.
Get out. Get out.
It's okay. He has it right.
I like it because he gave me shit when I was like, oh man, this movie sucked and all this stuff. And now I gave it an 8.5. He's like, oh, yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're coming out of the theater saying you hate it.
I reflected on the movie.
No, I really liked it. 7.5 is not bad for me. It's almost an 8. I mean, 8 is above average. It's like way above average. 8's really good. 9 is almost perfect. I thought it had some pacing issues. Like, this was told very artistically, right? So you got to take it for an artistic movie, but it can get a little long when you're not like watching it and you don't have an attachment to the character.
But it wasn't even long. That's the thing.
It felt long.
It was an hour and 45 minutes.
It felt really long.
I know. I'm just throwing
it felt really long.
It was only
really
an hour and 45 minutes. It felt like 3 hours, son.
That was
that was Valerian. Sorry. Another sleepy ass movie.
I didn't feel that sleepy during the Valerian, except for those really bad love dialogues. But anyway, we're talking about Dunkirk here.
Yeah, Dunkirk was very... it felt long, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I didn't like it. I loved it, but I thought they could have done some storytelling elements better. I know he totally did away with the backstories and stuff like that, but to make me feel for the characters more, to make the characters more significant to me, I felt like they could have done some creative visual storytelling that will make me like the characters more. That's all.
I was going to say one thing before you finish. Harry Styles did not ruin anything about this movie.
No, I didn't even know it was him.
Dude, I didn't even notice it was him until someone put it out
there.
So
the kid from One
It's because
Direction.
he didn't have to talk.
He did. He was a major character at the end.
Huh.
But
no, he did fine. He did
but
fine.
I'm just saying that don't not see this movie because you don't like One Direction. He doesn't do anything to hurt this movie.
So overall average is an 8.25.
Mark Rylance still was really distracting me. I thought he was the giant character.
Oh, shut up, Will.
I closed my eyes. Kept hearing the giant
my
talking.
God. You and your fantasy giants. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move right on along. Right into listener confessions.
So this confession, I wanted to dedicate to Maribel, who we didn't really address very well before. Right, Tommy?
Yeah. Long story short, we're sorry. Will was really cranky that day, and so
what?
And so we want to just go ahead and say, you know what? If you are interested in that internship, well, then you got it. We accept. Please come join us. Take photos, especially photos of Ellie, of her face.
A lot of Ellie photos. Please.
A lot of Ellie photos. Take some photos of Soheil's foot and some of William's elbows.
We will be emailing you directly to inform you as well. So
now, if you would like to send us a confession, you can email us at contact@nerdconfessions.net. Or you can send us a tweet to @nerdconfessions. The O's, zeros replacing the O's.
I can't afford an intern.
You can also...
They work for free.
You can... bitch. And you can also... Any social media platform, really, you can reach out. We will talk to you. We will listen. And we will discuss your deepest, darkest secrets to the public. I mean, what? No, go ahead. Send us your confessions. We want them. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps up this week's confessions. Join us next week for more discussions and opinions on things that pique our interest. If you have any questions and you would like for us to discuss, feel free to send it our way. Even if it's stuff that's maybe slightly controversial, like who's better, Batman or Superman?
Controversial's the best.
We love it. As always, we want to thank all of our listeners and followers for tuning in and supporting us. Share us, like us, review us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Whatever you want to do, every bit helps us grow. And don't forget, you can find our previous episodes and bonus content on our website, nerdconfessions.net.
.net. You also have a great video of us building a Ryzen computer. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's up.
Go check it out.
Next week, we're going to be covering Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2 it is.
Oh, wait. Nerd Confession is going to be in Star Wars Land.
Oh, yeah. We wrote our name on a beam inside Star Wars Land in Disneyland.
I also wrote our name on...
your penis?
No, I wrote our name on Walt Disney's bench. Twice.
Yes. And we put a Nerd Confession
that wasn't a real bench.
Yes, it was. Shut up, William.
Like
it's real. I believe in magic. I believe in magic.
At the museum.
Anyway, this is Nerd Confessions, everybody. Signing off. Bye, everybody.
Go away.
Bye.
I hate you.
Okay. Make love, not war.